I'm Vice President of the Great Bruce Labour Council.
All right, thank you. And why are you guys here today?
We're actually here because of a nationwide action to bring attention to not only Tim Hortons. I mean, Tim Hortons happens to be the target today. They're the ones that have been telling the world that they represent Canadian values. Yet, corporately, there's silence when some franchise owners are taking away benefits, taking away paid breaks from workers that are being paid, as you say, at the minimum wage. So we want to explain to the world, this is not about the workers, this is not even about this particular owner. We want to make sure everybody understands that the low wage economy, the low wage model doesn't work anymore. We've got people that are actually, going to be living in poverty wages, despite the fact that minimum wage has gone up. It's still driving people into poverty. $15, $14, it's all the right direction, but it's not where it needs to be. And by the same token, the model is so badly broken, we even thinking about the owners working 80, 100 hours, 120 hours a week to keep their businesses alive. They need to understand that the model is broken. So we want to get the message out that every single person needs to look long and hard about what makes a successful economy. Stop arguing about whether it's 14 or 15. Start arguing about whether the actual economic model makes sense for everyone.
I've talked to the owner here a few times, and he has no official comment. However, he said to me privately that he's had some issues. That he's not a millionaire. It takes a lot of money to keep these places open, and he's not one of the 1%ers. He's working really hard to keep his two businesses open. Do you think it's maybe going to have a downside to his business to have people protesting outside of it?
Understand again what we're doing here. We're not telling people not to come here. And in fact, if you look at the national and provincial labour organizations, the Canadian Labour Congress and the Ontario Federation of Labour, they are explicit. This has nothing to do with boycotting the product. In fact, I expect that on a nice cold day like today, that unless anybody here has to run away, we're probably all going back inside for a cup of coffee before we leave. So no, we're not drawing attention to hurt his business. In fact, if you really, really want to drill deep, we can fix this problem by changing that Bill 148 even more. We can make it so that actually people in the store can take their issues and grievances to the employer and get those issues dealt with the employer through being part of a union, instead of having to depend on people like us and others to come out and stand on the sidewalk and bring attention to the plight of low-wage workers in the province of Ontario.
From a passerby standpoint, it kind of just looks like you're protesting the business level.
And that's perfectly fine. Everybody knows through the media that this is not a protest of the business. If you don't understand that this is anything other than information picket, you just haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the reasons that we're going to be offering these to the people, and we're on public space. When we strategically took this on, we wanted to do a number of things. We wanted to make sure about all those things we just talked about. We wanted a safe space for the 5 or 10 or 20 people that showed up. And you see, there's 7 or 8 of us. We're not a whole lot of us, right? Had safe space, and that we could, without any sense of aggression, give these flyers to people if they wanted them, so they could fully understand why we're standing out here on a cold day in January.
Is this a protest an information picket that you'll be continuing at other businesses that have implemented the same policies?
Right now, Tim Hortons is the target. That doesn't mean that other businesses won't be brought into the fold. Tim Hortons is a good target right now, because Tim Hortons has spent their entire corporate life talking about Canadian values. And good for them. They should do that. Right? I think we all harbor a lot of really consolidated bedrock Canadian values. But when the minimum wage goes up, and the first jump out of the gate for some franchisees owners is to actually take money and benefits away from workers, that's not Canadian value. And that's why they've brought themselves into the spotlight.
Is that what's happening here?
We don't know what's happening here. Anecdotally, we've heard something about these franchises, but where it all started was with the Joyce family at the Coburg Tim Hortons. The Joyce family, Ron Joyce Jr. and his family, who we know to be millionaires, owning a number of Coburg locations. And what have they done? They're the first out of the gate to take paid breaks and benefits away from their employees. That's a problem. We're not going to focus on this owner here. Like I said, anecdotally, we've heard that some things have been taken away. That's not why we're here today. Let's make it work for everybody.
Now, you mentioned Bill 148. Does this not really lie at the doorstep of the province to make further improvements to that?
Well, you bring up a good point, but understand that a lot of what's in Bill 148 came about because of the push from organized labor. Now, that's not to say that our progressive politicians and progressive coalitions did not have their stick on the ice. Clearly they did. But if you said to anybody what pushed us over the finish line on almost everything that was progressive for workers, it was at the end of the day, organized labor in front of it.